composer Andy Akiho. Andy, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited. So, the first and most important question that we have to talk about today is, what is your relationship with kettle corn?
Let me try this. That's delicious. Yeah, I love it. I'm kind of crazy with popcorn. Like I'll just eat it obsessively.
Oh, really?
When it's so good, it just, I don't know, it's so light. But I make popcorn a lot, and then I dip it in chocolate or cinnamon or cumin or something.
Oh,
crazy,
really?
or
So
rosemary.
savory. Also.
Yeah, but it's nice to have the sweet too, you know.
You're a steel pan virtuoso. That's a big part of how you got into writing, right? So you tell me about your background in that sense.
I'm a steel pan player. I don't know. You know, I went undergrad for percussion. I guess that's classical, although all percussion music is technically contemporary. Basically, I don't know. And you know, so you're always in that mindset of like inventing sounds and instruments. And then, you know, I went to a very diverse like school. My undergrad was at University of South Carolina. It was like a state school with a lot of opportunities for ensembles. So we had West African drumming that got really big when I first got there, and the steel band was always fun to do. You know, we had Brazilian drumming. And then I was in like symphonic band, the orchestra. And then you're trying to do gigs outside of that. I definitely didn't sleep back then. It was just like, and I didn't know how to read notes yet. So I'm trying to learn how to read from the trumpet book, like whole notes on the marimba, and then not even thinking about learning four notes yet, and then learning this at the same time. So I learned how to read notes at the same time. I mean, you know, like pitches.
Right.
The same time I was learning marimba, and eventually this took over more, and that became my life. But it wasn't till after undergrad when I really got into jazz that this took over more, and I was doing transcriptions, and then that inspired me to start trying to come up with my own solos and improvisations. Then I moved to New York. I'm trying to sit in all the jazz clubs like up in Harlem and the Village and everything, and making a fool of myself, and like for a real jazz musician, but learning a lot, and then taking those solos and then practicing every day and trying to be a jazz musician, and taking those solos ended up becoming compositions that are my first compositions now.
One of the things that we were thinking about when we formed Kettle Corn New Music is the idea of having, you know, music that we really love, but performed in an environment where we can sort of relax and listen to it. So I was wondering if you could talk maybe about some of the situations that you find yourself listening to music outside of a traditional concert.
My end to this whole thing, the whole classical thing, was, you know, checking out the Van Can Marathon and being a part of that. So already going into that was, I mean, that's completely unorthodox. And then right after, I remember that was summer of 2007, you know, that was my first experience with that. And then all of a sudden, then I go back to being into the classical, like going to the concerts. I mean, for me, a lot of what I love about what we do, everything, you know, and being like different is for example, like being in Trinidad and just playing. It's almost like a concert because, you know, I mean, this is 10 years ago, but we're playing with 150 steel pan players, literally, and it's like an orchestra. And everybody in the community is just coming, chilling. They're drinking. They're all interspersed with the band. They're all watching. It's like a concert, the rehearsals. So that's like a great memory for an unorthodox kind of concert. Is that the right word? Just like a...
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, and you're rehearsing for hours, and the piece is only 10 minutes long, but nobody wants to leave. It's almost better than going to the real concert that they have.
Can you tell us about the piece that we have on our upcoming concert, your piano trio?
Yeah, so this was written in 2011, it was the summer 2011, for Aspen Contemporary Ensemble. First of all, just that right there, going to Aspen.
Yeah.
I'd only gone to Van Can. That was like my introduction to classical music was being a can, and I had I don't know, a large list of what I could write for.
Right.
And I was thinking, all right, everything I've written for, I've written previous in 2011 was non-traditional. Every single piece just about it either had a pan or some quirkiness with the percussion or something, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna limit myself. I wanna write for a very typical ensemble with a lot of history.
Yeah.
So okay, piano, violin, and cello. That is the most classical group of instruments, for a trio. I chose to do 5 movements, and the first movement was more like intuitive. I think it's called episodic. It just kind of introduces all the timbres you're gonna hear throughout the other movement. The second movement is a passacalia. So I tried to. What is that, like a repeating kind of ground bass in 3 usually. There's a lot of history to that. And I kept it in 3, although it's in 11. And I worked with that, and the cello just playing the same passacalia the whole time. And then the third movement's retrograde, so I kind of went forward to like early 20th century, really tight kind of thinking, and it's the entire third movement's literally.
It's off backwards.
I'm not retrograde.
In the middle.
Yeah, I'm sorry, palindrome.
Right.
I said the third movement's palindrome. So right in the middle there's a piano, and that's right in the middle of the piece, and it's exactly reversed unless I'm messed up or something. But so
well, we'll listen very carefully.
Yeah. So that, and then the fourth movement, that's retrograde. So it takes the passacalia of the second movement, slowed way down, and then reverse, and the piano's kind of playing, not sporadically, but very loose on top of that, and then the fifth movement is finale, kind of brings everything together, and I try to just kind of include all the movements, but try to tell more of a story with the fifth movement. Is finale,
Yeah. So, Andy, thank you so much for having us over.
Thank you for coming.
We're really excited to hear your piece.
Thank you.